Welcome, I'm Darren, and I'll be your guide today as I look at the 1998 Score baseball card set. And this was the grand hurrah for Score in baseball. Emphasis on baseball because for Score, baseball and hockey both came to a close in 1998 because Pinnacle fell apart. But that doesn't mean that Score itself ended its life, because originally when Score was created, it was created as a baseball set coming out of Sportflix. And in 1989, they jumped over and they embraced football. And they really tried to make football their thing, to kind of take over. But they were competing head to head with Pro Set, and it was a pretty impressive battle. But football really kind of took, there was a place in Score's heart for football. And so in 1991, when Pinnacle was first launched, it was launched in football. And when Playoff came into existence, it was only a football set. The Playoff didn't bother to go into any of the other sports. So, and over the years, Pinnacle always did do a lot of interesting things in football that weren't necessary, that was done in football first and then would maybe be done over in baseball. So there was this grand history of Pinnacle, and obviously with Playoff, of having a special place in their heart for football. So when Pinnacle folded, Playoff was able to take Score and continue along with it. So Score got a second life in football, 1999 and on. And I think it's still being made at this point, which is really quite impressive. But that means that for a football fan, Score, there's nothing special about 1998 Score. But for baseball, this was the close. And on top of that, it was their 10-year anniversary set, meaning they had already finished 10 years of existence, and this was their 11th set. But they did do a little bit of celebration for their having been around for 10 years, even though sadly it was the swan song for Pinnacle and for Score in baseball. So, with all of that said, the set for 1998, they did something that I think they only did in 1993, which is they used the exact same card design across all three sports. And had they been making scorecards for the WNBA, it would have been all four sports. The card is very basic. It's a white border, but they have a black box down in one corner. And then it's a picture on the inside, and they have a team color. It's an airbrushed effect or spray paint effect for the name, which was something that Fleer did in 93-94 in basketball. And it's another one of those great examples of how Fleer just couldn't figure out how to make it work, and over here Score absolutely did. It looks really good. And the back is a horizontal card back that, as is pretty typical with Score, is really a good card back with a wonderful color theme for the team. And the card set doesn't really have much that's special. It's a 270 card set with mostly veteran cards. A couple of rookies are tucked in there where the text on the sides is changed so that the spray paint is for rookie, and then the name shows up in the black box. And then they did have one subset, which is strange because Score usually had a number of subsets, at least over in baseball. Here they only had one, and that was their interleague player cards, because interleague play was just starting to happen. So it was a big celebration. And here they were basically talking about the games that happened. But these cards are all player cards, so it's focused on one player, each one of these cards. The checklists at the end are player on the front, horizontal checklist on the back. You know, nothing too special, just, you know, nice the way that they were doing this. But they had these checklists. That said, there was a separate release of these cards. So there was the main release, but they also did a special all-star release, which had different inserts. And because it had different inserts, they needed a checklist dedicated to that. So they made a filler checklist, which is a checklist with no card front at all. It's basically like half of a card. So the checklist is all on the back, and then you can slide it in behind another card, and you get whatever card front you want, and then you get this checklist on the back. Interesting idea, but at any rate, those are pretty common. They were not pack fillers, but as I recall, I was getting a couple of them in every single box, so they're pretty common. And then that was the set. But Score was doing inserts, or it was doing parallels, and the main parallel they were doing at this point was Showcase Series. Now, thankfully, they didn't do the mess that they did in 1997. Here in 1998, they just did 2 parallels. Showcase Series is the main one, where they have a mirror surface on the front, and the cards on the card back, they have a big logo in the middle, and then they're renumbered. So it's a 270 card set, but they did only 160 cards with the parallel. So they renumbered the set, so it's a completely different array of alignments of where the players show up. And these cards are, the numbering is very obviously different because it has a double P at the front. I don't know what the 2 P's stand for, but all of the parallel cards have the 2 P's and then the unique number for the set. Almost. Because not all of the showcase cards come this way. Now all the players do. So you can collect 160 cards all with the PP 001 through 160. But you can also find at least a lot of these cards, if not all of them, with the regular number on the back. So it's a showcase front. On the back it has the showcase logo, but the card number is exactly the same as the card in the set. And if you want to be sure about that, here we have the Darren Erstad card with the regular number, and then here we have it with the parallel number. So you can see that it comes with both versions of this card. Again, I don't know how many of the cards are done this way, and I was trying to figure out where these cards showed up. I have a suspicion where they came from, but I don't know. But I haven't figured it out at this point. If I do find out, I'll let you know in the comments below. But for Showcase Series cards, at least, a lot of these cards can be found with different numbers or the original numbers on the back. And then Artist Proof is basically the exact same cards, but done with an Artist Proof design on the front, where it's kind of a diagonal holofoil effect, which is pretty cool. And then it has a red foil seal stamp right on the front. So that's the difference that they have versus the Showcase Series cards. But it is all 160 cards have both parallels. So it's not like what they did in football, or what they would do in football. Here it is 160 cards and it's 160 cards. So every player who has a parallel card, there are 3 versions: the original, the Showcase, and the Artist Proof. But there are 110 cards that have no parallel at all. So there we come to the end of the proper set. And then Pinnacle was doing team sets. In 1997 they just started doing this, and it was standalone. You get your own, they came in a separate box, and the packs inside, just 5 cards per pack. In 1998 they did the same thing. So once again, in this case there were 10 different teams. And each team came with its own very thin box that was themed for it, but 1998 Score. And in it, every single pack, 5 cards of a 15 card set. So all 10 teams had a 15 card set, which was duplicates of the main card in the set. The only difference is that on the card back, these are numbered whatever number out of 15. So it took more than 5 packs to complete the set. But these cards are only different because of the number. And then on the card front, they have a seal stamp, or not a seal, but they had the logo of the team stamped in silver on the front. But they did have a parallel to this set, and the parallels came pretty quickly. In my experience, I've always gotten 4 of these per box. So I guess that's about 1 every 9, something like that. So they're still pretty uncommon, but the Platinum Team cards are a holofoil effect on the card front. And you might notice something about this, which is that the holofoil effect is different than the Artist Proof cards. This has a speckly effect, a star effect all over, which is really pretty cool. And they also had an insert set here, but I'm not going to get into the insert set quite yet. I'll get back to that in a minute. Now we get into the inserts, and the first insert set is the 10-year anniversary set. And this is a card that is often referred to as a 1997 card. I'm not sure why. but it is a 1998 release, and it's a mirror surface on the front with only the player not having that effect, and then it has team colors on the four corners. And yeah, it's a fun looking card. Good set too. But there was one player in the set, Andrew Jones, where they made Andrew Jones was the official spokesman for Pinnacle at the time, or at least for Score. And so they were doing some stuff with him, and that included they took his card and they made a gold foil version of it where they printed 500 of it and he autographed them. So there are 500 autographs with a gold foil design for the card. They also had a set called Complete Player. And Complete Player is a set where there are 10 players and there are 3 cards for each player. So it's not quite a parallel, but it's a 1A, 1B, and 1C. That's the way the cards are numbered. And the card has really nice design with a team color fade. They have some silver holofoil on it and a very bold picture of the player. And they have 3 different versions of the card front, which each of them has a different theme. So all of the A cards have one theme, all the B cards have a second, and then likewise a third. So on the front you get 3 cards that they look the same, but they have different images on them. On the card back, obviously they have a different write-up for each theme, but they have a horizontal, well, a cumulatively horizontal picture of the player. So in a binder, all the players are tilted sideways, but they are 3 cards long, which is a really interesting effect. But this isn't the only way that these cards came, because you might remember that I said I was going to be getting back to the team cards. And for that, well, this is the insert set. So they had the 3 complete player cards, 30 cards total, 10 players, 3 cards of each. But all 10 of these players were featured in the team sets. So there were 10 team sets. Each one of these players was a player associated with each team. So in team packs, they had these exact same cards, but those cards that came in the team packs, those have a gold holofoil on them. So that means that each one of these 10 players, there are the 3 cards of each, and then there's an additional 3 parallel to that. So there are a total of 60 cards for the set if you include the team cards. And the other insert sets are, well, the first one is First Pitch. And First Pitch is, you can see there's a very strong team color theme around this card. All of these inserts do have that as a very dominant component. But the card is most notable because it has not quite a brushed metal, but it's kind of an etched metal effect that has a kind of a radial effect to it, which is really pretty cool. And then the next set is Loaded Lineup. And again, heavily team color themed on the front. It has a whole different radial effect for it in the brushed metal effect. The last set is New Season, even more team color, and this has kind of an explosion effect on it, which is a very different type of vibrance to this card set. But these were the last insert sets, and then we move on to the equivalent of Series 2. So it had been a while since Score had done a rookie and traded set. They had been doing Series 1 and Series 2 for a long time. Well, in 1998, they didn't bother to do a Series 2. They just did a 270 card Series 1, or a 270 card series, and then they did a rookie and traded set, which was another 270 cards. But they repeat a lot of the players in the main set. Now this set, standalone packs, these cards are designed the same way, except for the black box is now a gray box. And they also changed the little color bands that showed up on the card with little, basically banners. So instead of being rounded, they are a banner end, or a pennant end is the design on them. So they do look quite different. But the cards are otherwise basically the same. Different images, it's entirely a different set. But again, a lot of the same players. And the cards do still come with a showcase card, and they come with the artist proof card. But the artist proof card, well, we're back to that star speckly effect on the card that they used for the team cards. The team cards, of course, are duplicates of the main card set, so there's no confusion between them, but they did use the same effect here, although they were still using the red logo for artist proof. And the card set did have one subset, which was their spring training cards. And spring training cards are, repeats of various of players in the set. They look almost the same, except they have the text that says spring training. And as far as the parallel cards go, it's once again a 160 card set. And obviously the artist proof cards are an additional parallel to that. So we have two sets, Score and Score Rookie and Traded. Each set is 270 cards, and each set has a 160 card parallel set. Now, for inserts in the Rookie and Traded set, they start off with complete players. Now, this is again 10 different players, 3 versions of each card, so that means there are 30 cards in the set. And a lot of these cards, or these players, are duplicates of the main set. So the reason I'm showing you Ken Griffey Jr., not Cal Ripken Jr., is the fact that with Ken Griffey Jr., he showed up in the main set. He also was featured in the Rookie and Traded cards for complete players. Cal Ripken Jr., though, was not featured in the Rookie and Traded set. There are a couple of players that only showed up in the Rookie and Traded set. So a player like Ken Griffey Jr., he has 9 cards, a whole page of cards. Cal Ripken Jr. only has 6. He has the silver and he has the gold foil. And then there are a couple of players where they only have the Rookie and Traded. But as you can see with Ken Griffey Jr., the images and actually the themes, everything about the card in terms of the content is different. It's just that the design is identical with the same team color fade, it has the same holofoil. So it's a card that can throw you off because it really is difficult to know the difference between one and the other. So you gotta be very vigilant to know, which cards they are. But they've got that. And then they also have a set that's called Stargazing. And this is, again, an effect of brushed metal. Very nice, pretty intricate, a lot going on. But that is the other insert set, only it's not, because they also have one more insert that is from both this set, and they have a whole different one in the other set, which is EPIX. And I wanted to save this for last because this gets pretty confusing. EPIX was something they started in football, and in football they made a complete set and they started into a next set. So that's the only place where EPIX was finished. In hockey, racing, and in baseball, it got pretty interesting. So the main EPIX set is designed, well, the whole concept of EPIX is it's a cross-brand set. Upper Deck had done this in 1995 with their Choice and Upper Deck and SP sets. Well, here what they wanted to do is they wanted to tie across a couple of different sets. And so that meant that if you wanted to complete the set, you had to open up 1998 Pinnacle, you had to open up 1998 Score, you had to open up 1998 Zenith, and you had to open up 1998... Well, I don't know what the other one was because they didn't actually release it. I expect it was Totally Certified because that's what they did over in football. 97's Totally Certified was one of the 3 sets where they included these inserts. So that was probably the case in baseball, but they didn't release that, so that means that we only have 3/4 of the set. And the way that it's built is every single set has, every single player, there are 4 different themes. There's play, game, season, and moment. And the designs are wildly different. So play has kind of a big echo effect on the card. Really cool the way that it looks. And then for game, they have more of a radial pattern arraying around. For season, they have more of, it's almost like electricity bolts, something like that. Still pretty cool. And the moment is like a big explosion. So each one of these different designs is unique to that particular theme. Every single card in the theme comes with one of 3 colors. Orange is the most common, and then purple, and then the hardest is green. So that means that every single player has 3 cards of each theme. They have the orange, the green, or the purple, and then the green. And then they have 4 different themes, so they have 12 total cards. But the way that they were released was kind of funky because every single release, so in this case 1998 Score, well, the first 6 cards all show up as play, that design. And then you have another 6 cards that all come only as game. And then another 6 cards only come as season, and another 6 cards only come as moment. So that means that you get different portions of the set in this release. And then you go and you buy the Pinnacle packs and you get another group. So the players who showed up with play may show up only with season cards and that. And then with Zenith, you get another group of them. And then with whatever the set they never released was, that would give you the last cards so that every single player would have 12 cards. They would have 3 cards each of each of the different themes. So it was a wonderful concept if you could get all of those releases done, and it was going to be a lot of work to complete them. I know I'm still working on the football set, and that was only 3 themes. That wasn't 4. But still, every single player was supposed to have all 12 cards. We only have 9. Every single group of 6 is missing one of the different themes, a different theme for each one. And so that's what was released in the main Score. But then over in the Rookie and Traded set, they had a whole different EPIX set, which was now starting into a new phase, which was done in a different way. In this case, all the cards were moment, but they also had a different design. This is more of a 1960s casino kind of design. And the big way you can tell the difference is that the Rookie and Traded EPIX cards have black bands at the top and the bottom. The moment cards in the other releases they don't have that, obviously. So in the case of the Rookie and Traded and the Pacific Plus cards, they have this moment design that's totally different, but it's a complete 18 card set. So it's not identical to the cards that we knew over in the Score set, but it's 18 cards for the complete set. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing something on this. I'm still researching it, but that's where these cards were released. And so that is a different set of just moment. They don't have any other themes of it, but they do still have the orange and the purple and the green. And that brings it all to a close. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about because there are a lot of moving pieces, and Pinnacle was kind of a mess at this point anyway. And you can kind of see that with how many different intricate elements go into it. So I really do hope that I was able to make everything clear so that you can follow along. If you do have any questions, by all means ask me down below, because anything I didn't quite get clear, I'd like to clear that up. So please do so if that's the case. And this brings to a close all my journey through Score baseball. So if you haven't seen the other videos, you can see all the way back to 1988. It's it's a lot, but it's always fun to bring one of these sets to a close. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I do urge you to do so. And thank you very much for watching.